Hey guys, it's me again. Hey guys, it's me again, Orcs What Ifs. Where we last left off, let's see, checking as usual. They arrived at USJ, saw Momo, saw Jiro, talked a little bit with both the first two, smoke talked with Ojiro, and Sub-Zero and him had another fight. He he beat down several of the teachers, saved Momo's life. Shigaraki 3-0 set up after him. After that, Kurogiri teleported him away after he teleported Momo somewhere safer. All Might came busting in. He did his thing. That pretty much sums it up. Yep, that sums it up. Ow, my leg. So, when he recapped, he sort of made his way to Momo's house after, sort of ninjaing. He pretty much ninja'd his way in, and as he waited, he and Momo had their first, little training session in a while. He said Momo did very well, and that he was just dropping by to see how she done, and they talked for a while. Momo then bringing her parents, Deku getting an embrace from them, because they view him as sort of, since he lived with them for several months, that he attended their school, ate at the same table they ate at. They sort of got the idea he's like a surrogate son, in a way. I believe it's the word, he's a surrogate. Or they felt like he was part of the son, as their son and such. Momo even, like I said with Deku, he even, forgot that he wasn't really their son. He was, or even a person that was close to the family, he was just hired. He genuinely almost forgot that. Same thing with Momo, Mr. Yorozu, and Mrs. Yorozu. As they talked with him a bit more, and they pretty much gave him his room back. He slept there in his ninja outfit. As he wakes up, It's like, what time is it? As he gets up, he cracks his neck a bit. It's like, God, my neck. As he walks down the stairs, he's like, oh, this is gonna be kinda annoying. He's thinking, maybe this is a dream, or was last night real? As he walks down the stairs, he gets to the kitchen. Oh, not kitchen, but dining room. As he sees they're all sitting down. Mr. Yorozu is, as in classical fashion, he's reading a newspaper, USJ. No one was really hurt at that. Everything turned out fine. He's reading it. Oh, he's like, oh, Deku. Or Scorpion, whichever you prefer. How are you? He's like, I'm good. Mr. Yorozu. Oh, where's Momo and Mrs. Yorozu? Oh, they should be, as they're like, hey, as they bring out food. Like pancakes, bacon, eggs. More, I don't believe the Japanese have those, are what they eat in the morning. I'm not sure entirely, but I'll just say they brought it because they are feeling it today. And you may be asking, well, why aren't they having their staff and such make it? For this entire thing, they pretty much called everyone, don't come in today. Have a day off. It's a paid day off. After they, pretty much called, all of them. There's only, a few servants and such. Not a lot. Because I'll say they have a smaller house. Because I never really saw the reason for having houses that big. They may be wealthy, but come on. They have it pretty much hold down. As they pretty much have him sit at the table, he still has Momo's mother's hey, no swords at the table. He's like, but take off the cowl. He's like, oh, fine. As he takes them off and put the swords down. Hey, go wash your hands too. He's like, takes off his gloves and he's like, alright, my hands are washed, my cowl's off, my swords are gone. Anything else? They're like, you should be fine. As they all sit down to start eating. As he's just like, this is so weird. As he sits down, Momo and them are talking. As he's just eating his pancakes. They sort of start talking to him what he's been up to. He's like, well, I've been doing some more jobs for the, not to be rude, but Black Dragon. Not Kano, though. Hate that dude. Worked for his, second in command or something, trimmer. He has me do a few jobs here and there. They're like, so what about this League of Villains stuff? Oh, I owed that the Smokey guy. Momo, you remember Smokey guy, right? She's like, yeah. Well, I owed him a favor. Like I told you, he got me out of there. Oh, they're like, oh yeah. I forgot Momo told us that last night. Or was it you told us? I can't remember. So, what are you gonna do after this? He's like, after the USJ incident, I'm trying to decide, should I lay low or what? As it's like, Momo's thing goes off, she's like, oh, I gotta go. Bye, Deku. She, like, gives him a hug and, like, says bye to her mom and dad. Have fun, Yaoyorozu, as he's just there sitting there. So as Mr. Yaoyorozu and Mrs. Yaoyorozu pretty much sit there like, so, we got another job for you. He's like, sure. As he's like, pushes food away. Right, so, what sort of job? Be her shadow. He's like, excuse me? Be her shadow. He's like, how? Like, follow her. Like, make sure you stay in the shadows and such, but follow her and ensure she's safe. Another long-term business deal. It's like, I'm not sure if I can do that. She's like, listen, none of the students ever come. No one ever comes here that would suspect of you. Nobody knows you even have any contact with us, except for Sonia and Jax, but they said they wouldn't tell anything, even if you did stay here, because they think you're kind of a nice person, from having defended us and even fought against, well, maybe not Jax, he may have some issues. As they're speaking, it's like, ding dong. Momo, back to earlier, Momo was like, oh, hey, Mr. Sonia and Jackson Briggs, how are you doing today? Oh, we just had to ask your parents a couple things because Deku was saying. She's like, oh, if you're going to ask, he hasn't been here. As she's trying to keep a calm face. Sonia and Jax, well, Sonia can smell the bullshit. She's like, huh. Well, it doesn't hurt to check. As he's like, Jax, would you mind watching Momo for a quick second? He's like, sure. As when Sonia pretty much burst into the house very quickly, and there you just see Deku's just there at the table with fork and knife in hand as they're discussing about how to defend Momo. Deku just locks eyes with Sonia. He's like, oh shit. As Sonia Blade comes rushing, he's like, hey, these are pancakes. Don't ruin the pancakes, please. I haven't had something this good to eat in ages. Come on. She's like, she's like, you're coming with me, you're under arrest. Come on, I just wanted to enjoy a nice... Come on. I got punched by All Might not long ago. My wounds are still healing. She's like, you got punched by All Might, big deal. He's like, have you been punched by All Might? No, but then shut up. That guy packs more of a punch. I got launched across the city. I think it's... No, wait a second. That happened months ago. Huh. Never mind then. He never... He then doesn't say that. Scratch that whole little plot part out there. So, as they're just talking like, let's just be civil about this, alright? Put these on here, coming with me. He's like, I'm not that civil here now, come on. As he's trying to calm her down. He's like... Also, Mr. and Mrs. Yaoyorozu, is this fine china? I'm like, no, it's just some glass plates we bought online. Oh, cool. As he then tosses it, like, very quickly. Sonia's like, dang it, as he, like, kicks the chair, causing her to trip. Rushes over, grabs his gloves, his cowl, and then takes his sword. He's like, bye, Mr. Yaoyorozu. And then he runs out the back door. He's like, whoa, hopping over fences and teleporting away. She's like, oh. Come on, we told you guys to report him if you ever found him. It's like, what's the big deal? He's a murderer. He's like, well, we've known he's never harmed us, and he's saved Momo's life several times. He saved her life yesterday. Come on. As Jax and Momo hear this, as they come bursting in, as they all have a talk down, Momo's like, I can't stay for long. I gotta go to UA. She's like, I'm pretty sure though. No. if they suspect Deku has a sort of, any sort of connection to me and my family, they may try to just lock us down. Again, I don't want to miss UA. Come on. They're like, ugh, fine. We'll be talking to you later, though. As Deku, like, runs away. They didn't get to the whole having Deku be her shadow. But he sort of does it, in a way. Not, like, make sure she gets there, to and from UA. Ensuring she's safe. With her safety ensured, he goes off with the rest of his day, staying to the shadows. As he... Wait. It's supposed to be a couple of weeks. I keep on forgetting some of these events. Yeah, they get a couple weeks off. So Momo doesn't have to rush off. They were all there at the dining table. They were all there at the dining table. I forget about that sometimes. That there's time skips in the anime as well, not just my own. With them all there eating, and then Jax and Sonya come like, who's there? As they're like, oh, Deku plate in hand. They're like, hey, let's be civil about this. Jax come like, I gotcha. As he tries to get him, Deku throws his plate, crashing it right into Jax's face, breaking his nose. He's like, what the heck? Deku runs over, grabs his gloves, his swords, and his cowl. Sonya's like, come on, Deku, this will be a lot easier if you just give up. Trying to rush forward and grab him, he pretty much... Sorry. He does a takedown, punching her in the face, tripping Jax, then just rushing out the window. As they're like, this is gonna be a serious discussion. As they're sat down and like have a serious debate with Sonya and Jax. Jax wanting to keep Momo and her family home so that way they can at least talk, like make sure that he doesn't come back around. They could investigate further. With Momo arguing that she can't stay here forever. She's gonna miss UA. They're like, you're talking with a murderer. Jax trying to like say this, you're talking with a murderer. How can you say you want to be a hero? It's like, he's never done anything bad to us. He's done bad things to several other people, though. He killed several soldiers. Well, yeah, several soldiers that are trying to track down the Black Dragon Syndicate. They had family, and several of them had families of their own. So what do you think about that? Momo not really able to defend Deku after that. Jax and Sonya can't really hold Momo there without getting UA and the heroes involved. So they agreed to keep the whole Scorpion staying with them thing a secret, but serious questions will be asked over the 2-week vacation as it skips through there. During that period, Deku has done more jobs, more underground jobs and like. He does a few things like a few more assassinations, a few more gang taking out. In a way, he mainly tries to deal with gangs and such and arms deals. Anytime he has ever killed someone innocent, he, like military, police, or like the people who try to hunt down Black Dragon, is that they attack him. He always tries to be non-lethal most of the time. A few times though he forgets and he just goes crazy. With Sub-Zero and Smoke training themselves to the point that they may die from overexertion. Todoroki doing not the same. With Bakugo training himself even more. All of them are pushing themselves to greater lengths trying to achieve what Deku has, which is a very strong, which is being very powerful. Ow. Ah. I think I had him fight All Might for a little bit. No, I didn't. Did I? I can't remember. But as Deku and them are fighting, well, not Deku and them, they all get to the sports festival, with Deku watching from an underground thing. A lot of these from now on will probably be focused between Sub-Zero and the class. As it's like they all do the whole sizing up thing with the classes and such. At this point, All Might's given the thing to Mirio. Ow. 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 Has given the thing to Mirio. Sort of doing... I'm not entirely sure. For now, I'm gonna make it that he gets one for all and the thing, I guess. So confusing. I think it's still along the lines that... Well, I'm just gonna say he can... It's more easy to permeate things, and I'll say he can permeate other things. For instance, using a spear, if he's holding onto a spear, he can make sure that's, like, say, a weapon and such, he can make that thing permeate through other things. For instance, like, if you wanted to take a pole, and shove it through the wall, the pole would permeate through the wall and out to the other side until he lets go of it, not wanting it to permeate anymore. I'll say that can be a thing. That is the way it is done. That's his increased abilities and such. He can permeate other things too. With that happening and such, Deku watches a sports festival, as they all have been sized up, and I believe I said Sub-Zero is actually the one who got the most. Actually gives a speech saying, "Hello, I am Tundra." Some of them are Lin Kuai Liang, the Lin Kuei, as several of them start... Sorry, got hair in my mouth. With you starting to hear the murmurs like... With him stating bluntly that he knows that his brother, Sub-Zero, or Bi-Han, as he was known to him, and Sector, have caused great tragedies among several other people, especially Sector's personal cyberized ninjas, or warriors. With them talking, conversing, saying that he is truly ashamed at what the Lin Kuei had done, and that he knows that the people have lost faith in his family, and that he wishes to redeem them, giving this whole long-winded speech. Sort of Midnight's like, "Hey, you gotta cut it." As he's like, "And I swear that I will try to not disappoint anyone with this tournament, or when I become a pro hero. And I hope everyone will do the same as well." If claps going like... clapping all around. It's very beautiful. Someone even sheds a tear just as it goes down their face. Midnight's like, "Alright, now is the foot race." They all rush off. Todoroki doing well, like the same thing he does, with giving himself an occasional blast of fire to propel him forward, with Smoke pretty much teleporting in a way, like more or less turning in smoke and flying away with it, as Sub-Zero just slides his way across. Bakugo blasts his way forward. Everyone's a lot faster in this. Well, everyone's pretty much doing very similar, with a few doing much faster, with like Bakugo and the likes, with his more athletic, since he's did a lot more training, along with a lot of them. Momo doing relatively well as well. There we go. So many wells. With her taking, like, striding off, as she creates ice skates, as he throws, instead of just, like, blasting himself off of ice and such, she's following Sub-Zero's path by making ice skates, going like, do-do-do-do-do. With them getting relatively well done very quickly. With Uraraka and them still struggling behind as well. Ida's blasting off again, with Todoroki making it very quickly to the robot parts, as smoke just flows around them, leaving others to deal with them with... and that's what Sub-Zero had learned that 2 weeks. Instead of just teleporting and such, he learned that he can literally just turn in smoke and just fly off. Similar to Inspector Johan from Hellboy 2, which is a what-if idea I have made. If you want to know what Johan does, what he does is that he's like, he died in sort of in his spirit form, which is like mist. He can release that from his suit that he's had made. That way he can walk around like a normal person. as he comes out and floats around like a ghost, he can go into things and control them, sort of like a puppeteer. When he does that, like for instance, in the scene he shows him, he goes into a bunch of lockers. He then beats the crap out of Hellboy using that, as he controls each individual locker. Like, each thing as it flips open, like each little door. That's similar, he can take control of things. But he doesn't have the ability to take control of things, just be able to, like, fly around, teleport. With Sub-Zero blasting several things with ice, and Todoroki doing relatively the same. Realizing that his ice and such would make more of a strategic value than the whole fire blasting. It's much easier to freeze something than it is to superheat it. As they continue forward, with Bakugo blasting his way, Momo using her, like, ninja skills and such to, like, get her way across, Uraraka and them all do relatively the same. With Sub-Zero and Smoke being like some of the first ones there, Bakugo's in the other place, and so on and so on. With, that should be good enough. As they go through the tournament arc, Calvary battle, with several of them wanting to pair up with, Bakugo and such, him having to get the same team as he does in the anime. Sub-Zero thinking what to do. Mina and Ochako approaching him. Not Mina, Tsuyu and Ochako approaching him about becoming part of his team. Him thinking about it and actually realizing this is a pretty good matchup. With his ice, Uraraka Zero G and such, and Mina's acid, they could do. No, wait, not Mina. Tsuyu's, like, frog-like abilities, they could do relatively well. With, like, Tsuyu being at the front, she could use, not her in the front, but on top, like, as a whole rider, she could blast away, she could blast them away, well, not blast, but smack them away with her tongue. He could keep them at bay with her frost, and Uraraka could just float things. That's when May approaches them about joining their team. Them weighing the odds and getting it done, thinking relatively, well, that's a good idea. With Tokiyami actually joining Smoke's team, realizing that technically they have 3 riders. So they could do it with, well, yeah. Who would be the last person? Some random 1B student, or one like any of the other classes, as they join and they do relatively well, but, you know, they do relatively well. With, let's see, all of them relatively end up the same way, with the same brackets. I'll say Smoke replaces, not Tokiyami. He doesn't replace anyone. Scratch that. I say Tetsu. Tetsu is actually, not Tetsu. Ibarra is on their team. Seeing that as with Smoke's ability, he keeps Tokiyami's Dark Shadow, so it's in the shade, making it relatively more powerful. With the Ibarra and such, using her hair and such to keep them at bay. As they get up there and actually make it in, with relatively the same exact thing, except the one fighting Kirishima is not Tetsu, but Smoke, with them all battling it off. They do relatively the same. When Sub-Zero comes to fight Shinzo tries to antagonize him, saying, "Wow, your brother really was an evil man. Shows you what's right for making him a hero." As Tundra, there we go, I forgot his name for a second. Tundra gets really, really angry at this. Sort of not speaking, just not even wanting to use his eyes. He just takes a stance like he's about to beat this guy to death. With him bashing Shinzo around, just trying to throw him out, but Shinzo is relatively weak, only never really training his body. As he's like, "You should train your body," after he has thrown him out of the ring. "And don't speak ill of my brother. He may have been bad, not as good as I expected." but he was still my brother. As he walks off stage. Then it comes to Todoroki versus Sero. That guy gets booted. Now it's then, and so on with Smoke versus Bakugo. That's a relatively interesting fight. After he took down Kirishima, with his more superior martial arts and much stronger physique, he bashes Kirishima away and eventually even breaks his skin by taking his fist and plunging it right into his own face. Oh, Kirishima's fist plunging it into his own face, eventually knocking him out. I'm saying that Kirishima did a very well job, but he needs to work on his martial arts. That would be a much better thing, aside from just trying to be a brawler. With him versus Bakugo, Momo versus, I believe it was Tokiyami, or yeah, Dark Shadow, as she uses flashbangs and such, pretty much scaring Dark Shadow away, and then pretty much beating down Tokiyami with her martial arts, knocking him out. As she's like very muscular and such. With Bakugo versus Momo in the next thing, Denki Kaminari and such get lost. Yep, alright, same thing. Then Tundra versus Shoto, or Todoroki. As they continue to fight and such, Tundra, after Endeavor's trying to do the whole, you've already brought out his fire, make him use it even more, as he's like, shut it, Endeavor. He is not you. As he walks away, and he's like, you are not your brother. Then you should be worried, Endeavor. My brother wasn't able to beat you. So far, Scorpion has, and I'm far more of a match for him than you will ever be. Walking away, Endeavor enraged at this, his flames going a bit hotter, with a few little blue, like, flickers in there now and then. Not like entire fire goes flicker, but like little bits of blue inside his flames. With him fighting Todoroki using his ice blast, trying to blast him away, and his fire blast to try and melt him. Sub-Zero barely able to, but he is barely able to conjure up and concentrate his ice enough to where it's the most difficult ice to break and melt on Earth, as he pushing it forward as some sort of shield. With him getting closer and closer to Todoroki, as he is able to do it just fine, as he ends up turning Todoroki to a martial arts battle instead of just a martial art instead of just a quirk-based battle. Because he is outclassed when it comes to quirk-based, but he has much more control over it. With, after forcing Todoroki back, throwing kicks, punches, and headbutts even at one point, eventually just overwhelming Todoroki, because Todoroki isn't as fit as him, nor is as well trained. Sure, Smoke can have put him through hell, but not the same kind of hell they witnessed. With Smoke versus Bakugo, this fight will be not Smoke. Smoke. As Smoke and Bakugo come to fight, Smoke realizing that he should probably just wait off, as he just keeps on dodging, avoiding Bakugo's more brawler-like style, similar to Kirishima's, as he's throwing blast and using his fire blast, his explosions and such to boost him forward and such, giving him an ability to charge up a knee kick, as he puts his knee, jumps up, then blasts forward, making that collide with Smoke's stomach or chest. As then he throws Smoke away, with Smoke quickly recovering, and then going up close to fight Bakugo with his martial arts. Eventually, after a very difficult battle, both of them are battered and bruised, eventually beating Bakugo. With Momo versus, I believe it's, I forget who Momo's supposed to face. Momo's gonna face Smoke, there we go. And then there's Ida versus, there we go, Tundra, as Ida tries to do relatively the same. but with Tundra more or less forcing his feet down and forcing them to like stop. His physical muscles, which are surprising Ida, have somewhat not surpassed, but is able to go toe to toe with his like holding back. Well, because pushing forward an ice shield against a bunch of fire and ice blast is very difficult. So he's forcing Ida to be in a stalemate. Eventually, after starting to lose his footing and such, he just ducks as Ida just goes whee off the stage and runs into the ground. And I'm like, oh, are you okay, Ida? He's like, I'm good. As he stands up, he's like, you should learn when to fall back. You can't completely rely on your speed, Ida. He's like, oh, take that to heart. As now it's Momo versus Smoke. With their fight be actually very similar, with Smoke coming to blows with Momo, as he's constantly switching it up trying to kick her, but she uses her quirk ability to make nunchucks and such, and actually even break Smoke's arm, X-ray, as she brings him in close and takes her elbow and bashes it down, breaking his arm. As it's limp, he's like, oh my god, I did not mean to do that. He's like, oh, you were very smart to do that, Momo. But as it's not broken, it's just messed up. As he actually no, that's too intense for him. As then he tries to fight her with only one arm, as she kicks him in the leg, then knees him in the face. Relatively very similar fighting style to Deku, like I said. As he's then knocked out, sort of being dragged away to a recovery girl's office. It's Jesus, what's that girl doing to these boys? As Tokiyami and Smoke are pretty banged up. They're like, oh, we're dying. With now it's Momo versus Tundra. There we go. Tundra being very, very cautious, with him just outright trying to freeze her as she has to dodge back, left and right, dodging back and forth. Deku's watching this going come on, Momo, you can do it. As he's just come on, as he's on a little TV in some place, he's come on, you can do it. As then eventually she creates a makeshift flamethrower. Well, not flamethrower, but you get it. As she's able to create from her body and such, she creates a flammable substance. As she throws it at Smoke, actually covering him in it, and it sort of like that Batman gel from Arkham, as he puts it on there and then can explode it. She does that as she throws it onto him. He's like, what is this? As she's just as she sends something a match, flicks it, throws it at him, as he explodes and fall it's thrown off the thing. This was a very difficult maneuver to put off, as she had to put it on his chest as it goes straight off. As he's flung back and just lands oh, with Deku being yes, while he was in a bar or something. He's oh, as everyone's looking at him, he's as he takes a break and calms down, as the rewards are handed out. Smoke and Tundra share not Smoke and Tundra, Ida and Smoke share second place, but with Smoke having third place, since Ida forfeited when he went to go see his brother. Tundra got second and Momo got first. Deku being yeah. Momo's parents being yeah, good for her. With that all being said, though, now is the time for internships. With them having relatively a lot more internships, with Momo winning, Sub-Zero and all of them, well, not Sub-Zero, Tundra and them are looking over their thing. He got a thing from Manuel, as he looks over Manuel's record, seeing that Manuel has a pretty good track record, with him actually doing a lot of fighting against gangs and such, similar to how the Lin Kuei did it. He got an offer from entering with the Lin Kuei, but he decides against it, wanting to separate himself more and more, like becoming his own independent person. With Smoke going with after his fight against Bakugo and such, I forget the name. Fourth Kind actually bringing Kirishima and him. Well, actually, I'll say he has three: Kirishima, Tetsu, Smoke, as they all get done doing that. With that being done and such, Hero Killer. Yeah. Todoroki's still listening and going to endeavor to hear what else he can teach him, if anything. With that being done and such, Deku's called again. Hearing that some of his fanatics, he's like, what the fuck? As he gets over there and gets teleported over there ASAP. As when Stain, one of his fanatics, as they said, as he appears from a portal, he's like, Mr. Stain, where you go? We would like you to meet somebody. As he's wearing yellow, black, and red. As Deku steps through the portal, being taller than Stain. I'm not sure how tall Stain is, but he was slouched over. As Deku is taller than Stain in a mountain, looks like a mountain of muscle. As Stain's like, it's you're a scorpion. He's like, I believed in what you thought as well. As Deku's eyebrows are raised, the Lin Kuei were not heroes. They were false heroes. As he gives off his ideals to Deku, Deku's like, your ideals are your own. He's like, what? Though I do not disagree with them, Hero Society has grown less heroic. I agree with that much. But you do understand why I hunt down the Lin Kuei specifically, correct? Yes, and you are also a vigilante. I know this. You hunt down criminals, I do the same. Sort of trying to get on a wavelength with Deku, getting a very similar one. He's like, indeed. Well, Stain, what are you doing here? As he takes a seat at one of the bars, he's like, I'm not sure the drinking age. As he's like, Kurogiri, can I have... He's like, I can't move. He's like, what? Stain, did you do something? He's like, as he explains his quirk of Blood Curdle, where he licks their blood and they're frozen for a set period of time. Then I'm like, As he walks, pretty much gets over the counter, rummages around and just finds some sake or something. As he pours it, I'm not sure of the drinking age in Japan. Just let that be known. I think maybe it's 21 or 18. I'm not entirely sure. As he's like, are you sure? Kurogiri's like, you're underage. He's like, and I'm a murderer. You're a murderer. I'm pretty sure Shigaraki's a murderer. Stain's a murderer. We're all murderers here. And you're gonna draw the line at what age I drink at? As he's like, Stain's like, he has a point. Shigaraki doing the same. He's like, oh, swear to God, if a cop walks in here, he's probably gonna get killed. We got four of the most wanted people at the time. As he starts stringing, so, what do you need? As they're like, we want Stain to join us. Having more recognition from hero killers that killed false heroes would help us. Our ideas, but Stain says our ideals don't match. He's a man-child wishing for nothing but destruction. 'Cause he doesn't like society. He's like, I agree with you there, Stain. But if you kill him, well, there's someone else you'll have to answer to. Stain's like, who? Not just me. Kurogiri probably have me hunt you down and kill you. But his master would want you dead as well. You see, that's his pupil right there. If you kill him, well, let's just say you're gonna be wishing you were dead. He's like, what can be worse than death? He's like, oh, trust me, there are fates worse than death. As he puts down the drink. With that, as that is at the end of that, he's like, send me to Hosu. I got business there. As earlier that day, Sub-Zero, Tundra was speaking with... Oh, also they chose all relatively same name. Tundra and Smoke pretty much just kept the same name, since that's what they've been called. Them speaking and explaining to them, so... Ida, I know your brother was attacked by the hero killer, and I can say this, don't go after him. He's like, oh, trust me. This hero killer, he sounds very similar to someone we know. Scorpion, no. This one seems to be more or less someone who follows his beliefs, which everyone believes that he thinks society has false heroes. Thus is what everyone thought in the beginning, but we all know the truth now. So, I say, don't do anything too rash. He's like, I won't. Trust me. He's like, fine, but I'll be watching you. As later in the night, they're all rushing around. The whole world's set on fire and such. With Ida being separated and such, Ida still going after Stain, finding him and trying to kill him. With Deku joining the party this time, instead of just watching over Stain, seeing his methods. As he's about to kill Ida, Deku drops down and stops his blade. It's like, what are you doing, Stain? It's like, this is a false hero. He's not a hero yet. He's someone who has lost someone close to him. It's like, so what? He's like, do not forget, Stain. Revenge is a motivation that can drive someone to their absolute limits and break them. Ida, I'll explain something to you right here, right now. Keep your hatred. As he says it bluntly. Stain being... See, as he, brings Stain, look at this face. As he brings him closer. Look at him. This is the man who harmed your brother. He will be gone. Why do you want to stop him? Because he hurt my brother. But what else? Is there nothing else? Because trust me, if that is all, you will gain nothing from your revenge. He's like, as he looks him up, you know what else? I just told you. Revenge can make you break your limits, but it's not the only thing. Use it as motivation. Swear to yourself that as long as you live, you would ensure Stain never harmed another person like your brother ever again. That brings me to another point. Ingenium was a good hero. From what I know, Ingenium was actually a very good hero and did genuinely care about helping people. Yeah. As he scolds Stain after that, saying he was a true hero, Stain. Why did you harm him? I didn't kill him. You crippled him beyond hero work. That is another fate worse than death. In some eyes, at least. As he scolds Stain, now, finish your work here. Ida, you are lucky I was here. Otherwise, he would have killed you. As Deku and Stain retreat, with them not able to find Stain, but he has disappeared off the map. With Tundra coming to approach Ida, as he sees the dead body, he's like, oh. As he then helps Ida up. Ida crying to himself that he couldn't stop him. And taking another more motivational words from Scorpion, the anti-hero, into his heart. Stain sort of still being upset that he disappointed his idol. With him leaving, all of them never get a chance at Stain. They disappear into night. And that will be the ending scene as Stain and the hero with them showing a report. Stain and the hero killer have been seen to be working together. From what we hear, this is a recent development, with Stain possibly and the hero killer Scorpion being part of the League of Villains. More information will be shared on this. Light will be shed on this subject. We hope all those heroes out there stay safe. And now Karen with the weather. Thanks, Tom. As then it cuts out. And I hope y'all have enjoyed this, and I hope y'all have a nice day, nice night, nice life.